We are Social Blade.
Harry Winsor, an 8-year-old, a couple weeks ago, who is the son of John Winsor, the CEO of an ad agency, Victors and Spoils, decided to send Boeing one of his concept designs for a new plane, which he did in crayon. Boeing in turn responded, as any giant company would, with a standard form letter, which basically stated, thank you for the letter. We liked it so much we put it in the trash. Well, Harry's father didn't appreciate the response his son received and posted his reaction to Boeing's letter on his blog. His post received a lot of traffic and quite quickly caught the attention of Boeing, who realized they were on the verge of a PR nightmare. Boeing quickly acted, and the story ended happily for young Harry, who was invited to tour Boeing's facilities. Future Flight invited Harry to Seattle and offered to host Harry Winsor Design Your Own Airplane show. And the Museum of Flight also offered Harry a free tour. So, I offer this. What should Boeing take away from this incident? Your thoughts?
I think Harry should get punished for stealing that picture from my refrigerator wall. That was actually my idea. He snatched it up. No, but seriously, they should embrace this kind of stuff. If they got kids participating in regards to designing how their plane should look, they should maybe have a contest that whoever has the nicest design gets to roll a bowling alley in the next Boeing, the next Boeing private aircraft that has a bowling alley in it, or possibly get a yoga massage or a yoga class by Megan Fox that's hosting on the next Boeing private aircraft or something to that effect. I mean, they should definitely embrace this kind of stuff if they got kids interested in wanting to design planes. I mean, they'll definitely create a lot of buzz around it. They've got the following to get something like this started and get submissions. They already got their first submission right there, or something from which to work. Instead, like they're ignoring the type of interest that the consumer has. These are people that are going to buy tickets on their aircraft. They're going to buy tickets from the airlines that buy their planes. So they shouldn't be ignoring this stuff.
Well, let me read a portion of the letter that's actually in the article, and this is the part of this standard form letter that Boeing sent. It says, like many large companies, we do not accept unsolicited ideas. Experience shows that most ideas had already been considered by our engineers, and there can be unintended consequences to simply accepting these ideas. The time, cost, and risk involved in processing them, therefore, we are not justified by the benefits gained. This article has plenty of typos, excuse me. So while we appreciate your interest, we regret to inform you that we have disposed of your message and retained no copies. Please understand that this was done on the basis of an established company policy, not on the merit of your idea. So, I mean, Boeing gets a ton of these, a year. So, is Boeing, being pressured to do this because it was an 8-year-old? Or should they really be adopting this idea of becoming more social and more open?
Well, I mean,
they should be adopting the idea. I think that when it comes to maybe it's the 8-year-old that opened their eyes, and they should have been more, in my opinion, more intelligent on the way they were interacting with any type of letters that were being sent their way. They should not just draft up the same old and expect people not to catch on. And I understand that they're a huge enterprise, and I understand that, you can't have every single letter directly and solely to a certain person, but you need to come up with some kind of marketing strategy that is more useful and more accommodating to your customers, because if they're writing you and taking the time to sit down and write to you, you really need to be trying your very best to take the time back. And, I'm glad that the father of the 8-year-old stood up for his son and said, this isn't right. And Boeing listened. I'm very happy that Boeing listened. It's unfortunate that it had to take an 8-year-old to get the message across. But social media is important, and Boeing needs to get on board.
Yeah, but
plane.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a bit. But at the same time, Boeing's in a unique position where I'm not just going to go down the street and buy a Boeing product. I'm going to be on a Boeing jet, even if I don't know I'm on a Boeing jet. So, do they really need to, diverge or allocate some of the resources to dealing with this stuff? I mean, I'm not going to go out and, like I said, purchase a Boeing product 3 times a day, or impulse buy a Boeing product. So do they really need to adopt social media?
Also, just to throw this out as well, playing devil's advocate as well, or going for Boeing's side, if they're getting thousands and thousands of letters every day, there's just human-wise or staff-wise, there's no way they can personally respond to absolutely everything there. So, in some sort a sense, I don't feel too bad for them. I mean, it's really tough. You're in a tough situation here with that.
No, I definitely.
I think it does matter to them, because they saw themselves, they were in a PR crisis. If they didn't admit that it was a PR crisis, they would have never invited them over to take a tour of their facilities and to take a look at everything that was going on. If they actually cared about it, they don't want any type of negative press. So they don't want that type of negative press. They better start listening to people press, which is the people that are on the web, people that have a voice on this planet right now. Everybody that's on it, everybody on this chat stream, that once they tweet something, they have a circle of friends to whom they can go ahead and say something, or say something good, or say something bad about a Boeing jet, whether it made them throw up after jumping on one, or save their lives because of the life preserver right beneath their seat. So, I mean, that's the way I see it. I mean, they thought it was more important enough. So I guess they just have to understand the new social landscape, which is involved people. You know what I'm saying? People that have this voice that reaches out to other people and got to them. So, it's just they should definitely embrace more of it if they don't want to run into an issue such as the one that they ran into with this 8-year-old.
Yeah, but should they?
Exactly.
Would it be? Go ahead, Aaron. I'll let you go.
Well, you guys are playing devil's advocate, and Neil and I are kind of on the other side, because the thing is that, it isn't just about these emails anymore. This is real-time life. Now, people want a response, and if they're sending you an email, they want it back. And I'm going to reply to, I'm going to say ask Outcast. Outcast. He asked if I read every junk mail. No, I don't. But if I do read, if someone sends me an email or a message directly to me that I, can see that it's not directly spam or whitening my teeth or something like that, I do make the choice to respond back. I do take the time to go through the followers on Twitter one by one. I want to make a good conscious choice of who I'm interacting with, and if I'm going to be beneficial to them, and if they're going to be beneficial to me. The other person I want to respond to is Lioness of God. She had said, does everyone need social media? Only so I can complain about them in the public arena. I guess that's what it comes down to, is that everybody's voice does want to be heard. So
yeah, exactly.
Whether you're a huge enterprise or a small-time store, it doesn't matter. Or if you're just a person that wants to hang out using social networks, you want to be heard. That's why we see, I just had a pickle for lunch. Because they're expecting somebody to hear it, right?
I guess what it comes down to is they need some sort of way to filter to. I guess again, there's no way they can handle everything.
It's not scalable.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it'd be easier just to react to PR, bad press than it would be to prevent it.
Exactly. Or what they should do is be monitoring to see if something looks like it's starting to escalate. So if there's some sort of filtering system,
Yeah, they did that, which apparently the article stated that they reacted pretty quickly to take care of it. But like Outcast just said, but for them it is spam. I mean, we can sit here and go through our messages pretty easily, but when you're a huge company such as Boeing, are you going to have the ability to, and the resources and the time to go through all of those messages and to filter through them?
Yeah,
no, but I think in this day and time, you need to come up with a different strategy. To them, if that's spam, to them, why do they have the option of you even being able to mail them? I mean, this kid took the time, drew a picture, everything like that. You need some kind of system, a new team, whatever, that can go through certain steps to.
Just saying a few companies. I mean, I know a few companies that if you write to them, you'll get like a sort of a case. You won't get such a cookie cutter response. You'll get a response directly, like you'll get responses from people in higher management, from the CEO. I know this one guy actually he complimented this lady that helped them out with a tie over at Sims, and he sent a letter to the CEO, and he told her how good the service was over at this place, and the lady got promoted to like a manager or something like that, something to that effect a few years later. I mean, Sims is a big company. I don't know if you guys have heard of Sims wherever you guys are from, but here in New York City, they're pretty big on getting suits that are cheap without you having to hit the thrift shop to get something with holes in the shoulder blades. So they're pretty big enough for the CEO to respond. Boeing should be shouldn't be that big where they can't respond to a few people, especially if they see something that's as relevant as, you know, putting together a little kid design of an airplane. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's relevant. It's not that they're not trying to spam with any type of offbeat message or anything to that effect. I don't know. Well, it's important. Like I said before, it was important enough for them to actually respond to this kid and bring him over. So if they want to be able to avoid these PR crises and not have to, and really, I guess, get the bang for their buck from their PR representatives and whoever is repping them on quote unquote media, you know, they need to get on board with what's clicking online, what people are tweeting, what people are digging or stumbling, what people are talking about, and they won't have to run into this type of situation and have to respond off the bat.
Absolutely. You can go to certain hotels now, and they will have a handwritten note for you specifically on your bed. That's the type of arena we're headed for, and that is exactly what we want. I know I do. I love it when people, people love it when you mention their names. It's like going back to the days in reference to the feeling of receiving a snail mail. When we used to get a letter in the mail, that used to be exciting. That used to be nice. It felt good. And although we've moved way beyond snail mail, it's now to the point where we want that feeling again. We want to feel like we're heard and somebody's reaching out to us.
Yeah, but this goes again to the product that they sell. I'm not going to be spending the night in a Boeing hangar or a Boeing, facility. I'm not going to be buying their product directly. I'm just going to be, on a plane I might not even know it's a Boeing aircraft. And I, quite frankly, wouldn't care. So this goes back to, does it really matter? Does social media only work for certain products?
No, Jeff, listen, people are people. No matter what you sell, no matter if you're walking on an airplane or sleeping in a bed at a hotel, people make businesses, period. So if you want your business to be successful, in order for a plane to be flown, it needs people to be on it. It needs people to fly it. It needs to have employees. It's all about the people. So if we're not getting in touch with them, it doesn't matter what you sell. You need to get on board with social media, in my opinion. That's what I believe. If you don't start listening to the people that you sell to, you give your product, the ability to use by the people, and you're not responding back, I think you're being foolish at this point. I think you need to get on board and you need to start listening. And I think they did a really good thing here with that 8-year-old, and maybe that'll change their going forward.
The bottom line is that they really cared about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have invited him over. If they didn't care about it, if it wasn't impacting them in some way, shape, or form, they wouldn't have invited him over. They would just ignored the situation completely and said, you know what, this is just an abstract letter coming from some kid. I don't care about these people because they're not buying my airplane. The airlines are the ones that are buying my airplane, so I'm just going to ignore it completely. It wouldn't have affected them. But it affected them for some reason. They don't want any type of negative press that may open up another can of worms over which some of their buyers may not want to know about. Maybe the press will start snooping around and find out that now Boeing aircraft comes with parachutes because they don't know if their planes are going to be able to fly from here to Dubai without demonstrating some type of engine failure. I'm just talking out my butthole right now. But anyway, like I said, it matters to them. You know what I'm saying? It really matters to them because otherwise they wouldn't have responded. They would just ignored it altogether. They don't want it to blow up into a big PR crisis where they're going to have to hire possibly a PR company to come in at $10,000, $20,000, a company like that needs a $100,000 retainer per month. It matters to them. So if it does matter to them, they got to get involved. They got to start participating.
Invading the internet, covering Web 2.0, coast to coast, worldwide, and everywhere in between. This is where you put the social in social media. We are Social Blade.